Hello. Hello. Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to our personal website using GitHub Pages workshop. Happy week 8. Hope you guys are getting through it. Where's the thingy? I guess I can just click on it. Yeah. Okay. So just for a quick agenda, we're going to be going through why you want a personal website, and then we'll go through a quick introduction to GitHub Pages, and then we'll cover briefly if you want to build it from scratch. So using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, you can. You can also find a custom template and just fork it on GitHub, and that's the tutorial we'll be going through.
So why would you want to build a personal website? This is a way that you can present your portfolio, skills, and a brand that is unique to you. And through your website, you can just show off the projects, your personal projects that you've created, and also just share your perspective on why you started the project, what you learned from it, and how you grew from it, just like as a software engineer or whatever you're pursuing. And basically, this website is an extension of your resume that makes you more human.
Okay, so before you get into groups of four or five, let me just really quickly. So we thought it would be cool if before we kind of start the tutorial, you have some time to look up some cool websites that you might want to take inspiration from. So this one I've seen, and by the way, if you want the slides, it's tinyurl.com/GitHub website 24. It's down here. This one is really cool. So it's like a car. Um, and then you just kind of like move it. I guess it's taking a while to load. But yeah, you can move it around. I literally do not know how to use keys, so and I guess it's also really laggy. But at some point, you'll go one way and it'll take you to like projects. You'll go another way, it'll take you to education. You can play around with it yourself. I thought it's really creative and really cool. And if you want to go for something like that, it shows off your skills that way. The other one is Hire Justin Zhang. And I like the colors. I'm a big fan of the gradient and this color scheme. The video wasn't working earlier, but I guess it's working now. There's like a link you can download his resume. It shows off kind of his web and front end. What I also liked, so he has like a TLDR, which kind of just quickly, I guess, shows off what he does. And then oh, sorry. I guess TLDR is off. So then you can kind of scroll through everything and then you can turn it on and then, the colors change. It's just a quick overview of who he is and what he's interested in. He also has like a how he built this section and then all of his social links down here. So you can maybe get into groups or kind of talk to other people and honestly, there are like enough of us to just kind of have a bigger group and you can all just share with each other. I think that would be better, honestly. Um, yes. But you can look through LinkedIn and see if any of your friends have created personal websites. You can just look up cool personal website or like if there's a feature like personal website with games or like developer portfolio website or something like that, and I'm sure things will come up. But yeah, we would love to see if you can find anything that you would be interested in creating something like, I guess, you would be interested in using as inspiration. Oh, this is not where I want to go. So yeah, we're just going to give you like maybe 5 minutes. Yeah, yeah. You guys move that way. Yes. Okay, so I'm glad that you had some time to talk. Did anyone find any cool websites that you want to share? Okay, let's just do one really quickly. Just because I don't want to get behind schedule. What is it? M or N? Okay. Okay. Very nice. I like the background. Um, this is interesting. Ranking the languages. Yeah, you can't move that. I don't know why I'm trying to move that. The different emails are interesting. Oh wow. Okay. Oh. It's like personal email, academic email, and then work email hierarchy. So real. GPA. Very nice. Work experience. Oh, that's interesting. They have like skills, systems, interests. So really quickly, are there any common things that anyone has seen on a personal website uh in general that you like? Okay, download link for the resume. Anything else? Yes. Yes, a picture. That's something you don't generally do on a resume. So if a recruiter or someone happens to see your website or your LinkedIn, I guess, but also your website, um, they see you as a person and not just as a resume or words or whatever. Anything else? Okay, let's just one more. Yeah. I guess that's like the main thing. They kind of just go for it and show what they're interested in, and it's just better than a resume by itself. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I feel like besides like LinkedIn and like your resume, like your personal website should like showcase like your personality. Cause like I feel like your resume is just like a piece of paper and LinkedIn is just like kind of too professional. So like personal website, like that one where you could drive around the car, it kind of shows like how fun he can be with his ideas. So like that. And so now we're going to do an introduction to GitHub pages. And this is basically the platform that allows you to host your websites for free. And this takes your HTML, CSS, JavaScript files from your GitHub repository and publishes a website underneath the GitHub domain. And basically, you can have one user site per account, like your username connected website. But you can also have unlimited project sites, which are your project repositories. So basically it's kind of confusing just one user site, like your main user site, but then your for your project sites, it's just for your several projects, if that makes sense. And then kind of like an introduction to creating like a GitHub pages site. You guys don't have to do this right now, but if you guys are interested in like creating one from scratch, you guys can go to this link. Also the slides tiny URL is in the bottom left corner. But basically here you can either choose to create your user site or project site. But for today's workshop, we'll just be forking from a user site template, as Anusha will show you guys now.
Okay, so if you're on the Okay, I guess this is another slide. This has more links for if you're going to create a user site specifically. We will be forking one, but it's kind of the same process. It's just that once we fork it, since it's already made, we won't really have to do much web design. But if you're interested in the future, you should definitely try building it from scratch if that's something that you want to do in the future. So, oh, so now I'm gonna go to GitHub. Does everyone have the slides open? Because I'm just gonna be on GitHub and I'm using Cohen's account. This is not my account. So we are going to start on Ryan Fitzgerald's dev portfolio. And I believe this is also on the slides. Yes. So, is everyone here? Do you need a minute to kind of get there? I'll give you like a few minutes. And just give me a thumbs up when you're there and you're ready. Okay. I'm going to continue. Is everyone ready? Okay. Okay. So we're gonna start at the top up here with fork, and I'm gonna create a new fork because we don't have any existing ones of this repository. And so the important thing here is that we're going to be creating a user site. And so for a user site, it says so on the tutorial for GitHub pages as well. You'll want it to be the GitHub username .github.io, and that has to be the name of the repository. So yeah, this is Cohen's. So I'm just gonna be. And so this is going to be his personal site. And so the way it works is that later, once we have it running, you can do like HTTPS and then your user.github.io, and that'll be your domain name unless you want to change it later. So I'm going to leave everything else the same, and I'm just going to create the fork. So once you fork it, it should take it to your repository in your GitHub account. Does anyone need any more time to fork the repository? Is everyone good? Okay, okay, I wasn't sure. I couldn't tell if you were working. Okay. So normally this is the part where I would say, okay, SSH or use HTTPS to clone the repository locally. We usually have quite a few problems with that though, so we're going to be trying out something else. At the top here, and I have this in 2 tabs, you'll see why in a second. You can just go to the URL and you can change the .com to .dev, and it'll open up VS Code in a web editor for you. And so basically what we're going to do here is we're going to be changing the name because you don't want it to be Ryan Fitzgerald's name. You want it to be your name. And so once we commit that, you can see how the workflow works and then how your changes show up on your website. So please give me a thumbs up once you have the web editor open. Unless you want to do it locally, you can do that too, but that might take a little longer. And then once you get to the web editor, go to index.html. Okay, just zoomed in the screen a little bit. Is everyone at the web editor? Okay, I'm gonna move on. So if you scroll down in index.html a little bit, you'll see H1 and then Ryan Fitzgerald. So I'm just gonna change that to Cohen's name. And now to write a message, to commit, write a message, and then push to your repository, what we're gonna do is we're gonna stage the change. So this would be add, and then you're going to write a message, and I'm just gonna say changing name on personal website. And then I am going to commit and push. Does anyone need a little more time? Am I going a little fast? Okay. I can go through that again if you want, but I'm going to commit and push. And then if you go here to actions, it'll show that you have a workflow run. And this is just on your repository page for the personal website. So it's going to show that it's in progress, and I hope it doesn't yeah. So if you go right now to your personal site, it might give you 404 error saying there isn't a GitHub Pages site there. That's because it's still running, still being deployed. Okay, so now there's a green check mark. So it looks like it's done. So now if we reload the page here, it should show up. And this is a pretty nicely done website. I forgot to do this earlier, but on the original repository for it, there was a live site so you could see what it looks like. But you can see what it looks like now. So there's a download resume button. Obviously you can't download anything. And then there is, it's very similar to like a full life experience portfolio. So you have an about section, an experience section, an education section, and then a project section. So feel free to play around with this. If you don't like anything about it, I guess you can definitely change it up. You can delete this repository and find a different template, but this is essentially how the process works. And then there are tutorials, like better tutorials for a user organization site or a project site. on GitHub pages. And so you can follow those tutorials as well for if you want to build anything from scratch or do anything differently than how we did it here. Does anyone have any questions? I'm going to give you like maybe 5 minutes. And then we do have a couple more slides to get through. And then you can have time to work or kind of talk to each other. And did anyone want me to go back and repeat a step or anything like that? Okay, I'm going to take that as a no. Okay, we just need to get through a few more slides and then you can definitely continue talking and we will get back to you.
So like now that you guys like have your website, for designing, if you were to create your website from scratch, Figma is a very useful application to create wireframes and prototypes and basically just like build your website visually from the bottom up. Otherwise, just like how we did today, you can use a different platform called Glitch, and it provides you with free website templates and just allows you to like experiment with code and immediately see changes instead of always trying to like commit to get and see your changes that way. So this is Glitch. Oh. Yeah, you guys can just like experiment around, honestly, whatever works for you and like what you're trying to do. So yeah.
Oh yeah, and we just have a couple other templates. This is another one we found. I believe you can look at it here. So this is like a different color scheme, a different layout, but still kind of the same thing. Projects, it's kind of all laid out pretty well. There's also this one. I don't know how to live example. They have a cool loading thing. This one is pretty. This one has a lot of motion. Yeah. I wonder how they did this. This was all JavaScript. Yeah. Is this real or I'm wondering? Could be. Okay, and finally, before we let you get to it, we would really appreciate it if you could fill out our feedback form and let us know how we did and if there's anything you want to see in future workshops. It'll be tinyurl.com/GitHub website feedback. You can also scan the QR code. And thank you so much for coming. Oh, and did anyone have any questions about anything before we finish?
No question?
We can also answer them like personally too, no worries.